You love your cat? That's not the question. The question is whether what you're doing every single day is actually good for them. Because here's what most owners never find out. Some of the most common things people do with their cats aren't just unhelpful. They're actively causing stress, anxiety, and even physical harm. And the worst part? They look like love. Vets see the damage every week. But by the time most owners figure it out, the habit is years deep. These are the things you need to stop today. And number 4 is the one that shocks people the most. 1. Staring directly into your cat's eyes. Think about how often you look at your cat. Probably dozens of times a day. And most of the time you're looking right at them, holding that gaze, waiting for them to do something cute. It feels natural. It feels like connection. But in cat language, prolonged, direct eye contact without blinking is not affection. It's a threat. In the wild, cats lock eyes with something when they're about to fight or when they're being hunted. That stare means one thing: danger. So when you hold your cat's gaze and don't blink, your cat isn't thinking, "My owner loves me." They're reading a challenge. And over time, repeated staring can make even the most relaxed cat subtly tense around you without either of you understanding why. The fix takes 3 seconds. The next time your cat meets your eyes, blink slowly. Let your eyelids drop like you're half asleep. Then look away. That single gesture communicates something no amount of treats or toys ever could. It says, "I see you and I'm not a threat." Cats who receive slow blinks from their owners show measurable drops in stress signals. Do this every day and watch how your cat starts choosing to be near you more. Not because you asked, because you finally started speaking their language. 2. Forcing physical contact. Be honest with yourself here. When your cat is sitting nearby and you reach out and just start petting them without any signal from them first, that's forced contact. And most cats tolerate it. That's the problem. Tolerate is not the same as enjoy. Cats are not passive receivers of affection. They are highly autonomous animals with a strong need to control their own physical space. When contact is initiated on your timeline and not theirs, even a gentle pet can register as an intrusion. You'll see the signs if you look closely. A slow tail flick. Ears that rotate slightly back. A body that goes still instead of leaning in. These are your cat saying, "I didn't ask for this." Here's the daily habit that changes everything. Before you touch your cat, extend one finger and hold it near their nose. Wait. If they push forward, rub their cheek against it, or bump it with their head, that's consent. That's your cat saying, "Yes, I want this." If they turn away or don't engage, they're not in the mood, and that's okay. Respecting that boundary doesn't weaken your bond. It's the single fastest way to build one. Cats remember who asks, and they always come back to those people. 3. Punishing your cat, spray bottles, loud claps, saying no in a sharp voice. These are in millions of homes right now. Vets and behaviorists are unified on this. They don't work and they cause real psychological damage. Cats don't connect punishment to behavior. What they process is, something frightening happened near me and that person was nearby. Instead of learning not to scratch the couch, your cat learns that you are unpredictable, that you are sometimes a source of fear. What works instead is redirection and reward. If your cat is scratching somewhere they shouldn't, move them gently and reward them. When they use the right surface, reward them. Your cat isn't being defiant. They're being a cat. Work with that instead of against it. 4. Leaving your cat alone for too long. People say they're independent, they don't need much. And that belief is quietly breaking cats. Studies found signs of separation anxiety in cats left alone regularly. They overgroom, they stop eating, they become withdrawn or destructively clingy. Your cat has built their entire sense of safety around your presence, your scent, your sounds, your routine. When that disappears for hours every day with no enrichment, their stress hormones rise. This isn't about guilt. Most people have to work, but what you do before you leave and when you get back matters. 5 minutes of real play before you go, a window perch, puzzle feeders that keep their brain moving. And when you walk back through that door, greet them first before your phone. That return moment is one of the most emotionally significant parts of your cat's day. Treat it like it is. 5. waking them up because they're too cute to resist. You already know what this looks like. Your cat is curled into that perfect little ball, completely still, impossibly soft, and something in your brain says, I need to touch that right now. So you do, and your cat startles or tolerates it, or relocates to somewhere harder to reach. Cats sleep between 12 and 16 hours a day. That is not laziness. Sleep is how their nervous system regulates stress, how their immune system does its maintenance work, and how they process the world they live in. Deep sleep specifically is their most vulnerable state. Every instinct they have says that vulnerability is dangerous. They chose that spot because they trusted it was safe. When you interrupt that repeatedly, something shifts. Your cat doesn't consciously blame you, but their body remembers. That spot stopped being safe. You start noticing them sleeping in harder to reach places, higher shelves, under the bed, behind things. They aren't being antisocial. They're protecting the one thing they need most from the one person who keeps taking it from them. Walk past your sleeping cat. Every single time. That restraint is one of the deepest forms of love you can offer. 6. Using the wrong kind of play. Waving a toy back and forth in front of your cat's face while you watch TV is not play. It's motion. And your cat knows the difference. Cats are hunters. That is not a metaphor. Their entire nervous system is built around the sequence of stalk, chase, pounce, and catch. When you skip that sequence by moving a toy randomly with no arc, no escape, no unpredictability, you're giving your cat the equivalent of a meal with no flavor. They might swat at it out of reflex, but nothing is being fulfilled. The result over time is a cat that seems lazy, disinterested, or disconnected, and owners start assuming their cat just has a low personality. What they actually have is a cat whose deepest instinct has never been properly engaged. Move the toy away from your cat, not toward them. Let it disappear behind furniture. Make it freeze and then bolt. Give your cat a real hunt even for 5 minutes and watch who they become afterward. Calmer, more affectionate, more present with you, because you became the source of something primal and necessary. That bond doesn't come from treats. It comes from that. 7. Ignoring what their body is already telling you. Cats are not stoic by accident. In the wild, showing pain or weakness is a death sentence. So evolution built them to hide it. Extraordinarily well. By the time a cat is visibly unwell, they have often been quietly suffering for a long time. Most owners miss the early signs because they don't know what to look for. A cat that suddenly stops jumping to their usual spots. A cat that's drinking more water than usual. A cat that starts sitting differently, slightly hunched, weight shifted forward. A cat that stops grooming one particular area. A cat whose personality shifts even slightly, more withdrawn, less interested in play, quicker to startle. These are not moods. These are messages. Vets say the same thing in consult after consult. The owner noticed something was different weeks ago but assumed it would pass. Learning to read your cat's body isn't just about bonding. It is the single most important thing you can do for their health and their life. Watch them. Really watch them. Not just when they're doing something adorable, but when they're resting, eating, moving through the house. Your cat cannot tell you when something is wrong, but they are showing you constantly. The only question is whether you're paying attention. You got this cat because you wanted to give them a good life. Everything on this list is fixable. None of it requires money or equipment or hours of training. It requires attention. It requires learning what your cat is actually experiencing inside the life you've built together. Start with one thing today, just one, and watch how your cat responds when you finally start showing love in a way they can actually feel.